أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم كن لوليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه الطاهرين في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Assalamu al Mahdi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to another episode in the series Mata al Halak. Previously, we spoke about the fact that knowing the Imam Salamullah alayhi, especially in our time, is compulsory. Now, inshallah, I'm trying to lay the foundation of how we can look for an Imam in the outside, since it's an obligation, as we said. And inshallah, later on, I will bring more evidence to make the narration that we spoke about, that identifying the Imam as compulsory, that they will come hand in hand. Now, first of all, what prevents people from moving forward and searching for the Imam or trying to know who the Imam is the intellectual barriers that we place ourselves. Now, what do I mean by intellectual barriers? Sometimes, especially when it comes to matters of beliefs, what you believe in will frame your mind, will shape the frame of your mind, and thus will affect how you act on the outside. If I give you a simple example in this regard, when you believe and you have a firm belief that praying is compulsory and wajib, what happens is that you start to pray on the outside. It takes effect on your body. When you believe hijab and wearing hijab is compulsory and wajib, what happens? You start to wear it on the outside. So what you believe in, it will always affect how you behave in the outside. It will make you do movements and work on effort in the outside. Now, when it comes to the concept of Mahdawiyya and Imam al-Mahdi salamullahi alayhi, if we believe that the Imam is an occultation and we accept occultation of being a concept that the Imam is hidden, cannot be seen, then that will prevent me and you from trying to find out and seek that Imam on the outside. But if we understand the concept of occultation and Ghaybah in a way that is different, that is possible for me to go and search for him, then what happens? You will put the effort in the outside to go and seek your Imam. So one of the barriers that we place between ourselves and our Imam is these intellectual barriers, and beginning with the term occultation or Ghaybah. So today I want to take you, I'm going to keep it short, I promise, of trying to understand what does the term Ghaybah actually means and how should we view that term. Now, in English, in Arabic, the definition or the exact translation of the word Ghaybah is absence. However, in English, we call it occultation, which is a more accurate term. Occultation is a Latin word for concealment, and specifically it's used in astronomy. When the sun or the moon blocks the sun, when you have the eclipse, that's what they call occultation. Technically speaking, that's what the term means, if you Google that. That's what occultation is. It's used in astronomy. When the sun or the moon block one another, that's what they call occultation, which means something is there, but something is preventing it from being seen. For example, if the moon blocks the sun, you no longer see the light of the sun. Why? Because the moon is blocking it. That's occultation. So something is there, but cannot be seen. Now, when we take this concept to Mahdawiyya and to Imam al-Mahdi salamullahi alayhi, how should we view it? Now, in Arabic, the term Ghaybah is derived from the word Ghayb, which means something that cannot be seen or something that is not present. Now, let's expand on that term a little bit more so we can see how does that apply to Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, and if we can work out the right meaning of it, it will shape our thinking and therefore it will make us put some effort on the outside. Now, occultation, the first definition of occultation or ghaib, I'm going to use the word ghaiba, okay, so because I don't want to use the English term. The first meaning of Ghaybah is the physical sensory occultation of Ghaybah, which means that the person cannot be seen. And that can be broken down into two parts. One, occultation versus presence, which means that I know a friend, one of my friends, for example, Sheikh Mudaffar, he's in the room behind me. Sheikh Mudaffar, he is present. He has an existence, but he's not with us. He's not with us right now in the camera. So he is ghaib, he's not present in the sense that he's not with us, but he's there. That's one. And then we have occultation in opposition to what? To appearance. Not existence, appearance. For example, malaika, angels. Angels do have an existence. They do exist, they are with us in the same place. As I speak right now, there are a few malaika on my shoulders, raqibun and atid, the one that writes the good deeds, one that writes the bad deeds, right? They're with us. Can we see them? We can't see malaika. They cannot be seen. But we know they are present right now, and they are always with us. So when we talk about the first level of Ghaybah, of occultation, is that physical aspect of it. Is he with us in the same room, or is he absent in a different place? Is he here but cannot be seen, or can he be seen? That's the first term. And which, inshallah, we'll try to apply that to Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. The second type of Ghaybah or occultation is the spiritual abstract occultation. What do I mean by that? And that we can classify it into two parts as well. One, we have absence of identity, which means there could be a person right next to you, sitting right next to you, but you don't know who that person is. You don't know his name, you don't know his title, you don't know his family, you know nothing about him. He's a stranger. That's why we call them strangers. Why are they strangers when you can look at them and see them and talk to them? It's because you don't know their identity. Now, that's the first type. The second type is the absence of reality, of full knowledge of that person. So sometimes you have someone next to you, you know his name is Muhammad, or his name is Ali, or her name is Fatima. You know she's a student, for example, or a person of high importance, but that's all you know. You don't know their full reality. And we use the example of Amir al-Mu'minin, alayhi salam, for example, when the Prophet was talking to him, he said to him, "Oh Ali, no one has understood you except Allah and me." So like the full extent of who Ali alayhi salam is not known to people. Even though they know he's an Imam, they have to be obedient to him and so on and so forth. But they don't know the full extent of knowledge. So when we talk about Ghaybah, we have these two types. One, we're talking about the Mahdi, the materialistic aspect of it, whether the person can be seen or not. And one is we're talking about the spiritual aspect of the person, where his identity is known or not. So keep that in mind. Now, and we have also one more type of occultation, which I would want to call the occultation of function. Sometimes a person is known outside. You know who he is, you know his status, you know everything about him, but that person has not been given the right place to be in charge. For example, we know there's a scientist, we know his name, we know his knowledge, we know his status, but we did not give him that position where he's supposed to be leading and working. We just outcast him. That happens as well. And that applies to Imam Mahdi salamullah alayh. So now we have the physical, and then we have the spiritual, and the additional one, which is the function. Now let's try to apply this to Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. See how it works. Now when it comes to the material occultation of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, we ask the question, is he with human beings to begin with, or is he in a different planet? Because some people and some scholars actually believe that the Imam is not even present on earth. He's in another realm. Like Isa alayhi salam. He could have been taken to the heavens, or he's just in a different realm, different planet. That is nonsensical, because that goes against the narrations of the Ahlulbayt alayhim salam, which says that the Imam is always present and he sees people see him, he goes to Hajj, and that's the narrations. We have many of that narrations. And it goes against how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he must have an evidence hujjah on people on earth all the time. Also goes against the fact that a lot of people have seen the Imam and met the Imam alayhi salam. So that we cancel that. Then we say, okay, so in the second condition, since the Imam alayhi salam is with us, now if he is with us, is he away from us completely, like he lives in mountains and deserts and he cannot be seen, period, like continuously until dhuhr, or no? Or is it like sometimes he comes with us and sometimes he disappears? He goes somewhere else. He goes to the mountains, for example. Well, obviously, if we say that he cannot be seen completely, he's completely outcasted himself from humanity, again, that goes against the narrations of the Ahlulbayt. It goes against what actually people have seen and met the Imam alayhi salam. So we take that away. Which leaves us with the option of what? That he might sometimes live amongst people, and sometimes he might, go away from them and keep himself away from people. That is quite possible, and that's what we kind of lean towards. That's in terms of the physical meaning of occultation. Now, if we talk about the spiritual or the abstract meaning of occultation, when we talk about the identity of the Imam alayhi salam, we say no. The Imam salamullah alayhi, he conceals his identity. He's with people. He lives amongst people. People see him. He interacts with them. The only problem is people don't know his title. They don't know his status. They don't know this is the Imam. They deal with someone else. It could be anybody. But they don't know that this is actually the Imam. Now, this concept of hidden identity, which will be the pillar of the series, is what actually is happening right now. The Imam Salamullah alayhi is taking that hidden identity. Why do I say that? For a number of reasons. One, because Imam Mahdi Salamullah alayhi, in this type of occultation, it aligns with the narrations of the Ahlulbayt alayhi salam, which we will go through thoroughly. Thoroughly we go through them. It aligns with the narrations of the Ahlulbayt that he is in a hidden state, meaning he is hiding his identity rather than himself. That also aligns with the people who have seen the Imam alayhi salam in multiple times in different formats. Some people see him as a scholar, some people see him as a farmer, some people see him as a horseman, and so on and so forth. So he takes different roles. And also, we have a hadith that forbids mentioning the name of the Imam alayhi salam, which means he takes a different name, and if you get to know that name, it becomes haram on you to mention that name, which we will explain thoroughly, inshallah, in other videos. So that's one. Two, in practicality, the Imam alayhi salam, he's a human being. He needs to live amongst people. He needs to work with societies. He has duties he must play with people. So if we say that Imam, he outcasts himself from societies and the world, that will actually collide with the fact that he's an Imam that needs to perform a duty on the outside. So hiding himself in the hidden identity concept, it works perfectly in terms of practicality. Three, it supports all the sightings of the Imam alayhi salam in different, in different formats. Sometimes a dweller, he's a dignified man, sometimes a soldier. He's been seen in different formats, which also goes very well with this narrative of hidden identity. And also, lastly, it has an educational aspect to it. Now, if you get to believe that the Imam Salamullah alayhi is with us, but he is hiding his identity, which means that every time you see a person on the outside, especially good people, obviously, and not junkies, when you see someone outside, you say, well, that could be the Imam. Because we are still in the initial phase of trying to break the code. You could say it could be the Imam. So I should be more respectful. I should not oppress that person. I should not, misjudge this person. I should not belittle that person. And actually, this is what narrations of the Ahlulbayt salamullah alayhim say. One of the hadiths from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Allah says, the hadith Qudsi says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has hidden his believing men and women, the true believing men and women, amongst his servants. So do not belittle anyone, because you might think, oh, this guy is just a scumbag. But in reality, he's a wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you have to be very careful. So if you believe in that concept, that actually would affect you that anyone could be the Imam alayhi salam. So I should deal with people in a nicer way. So I'm going to end here, and inshallah, as of the next video, I'm going to give you the narrations that support this concept. So now we got to believe that the occultation, it falls into different levels. One, in terms of the material aspect, can he be seen or not? If he can be seen, is he continuously away from us, or if he is with us? And when we talk about the abstract occultation, the spiritual occultation, is that the Imam Salamullah alayhi is hiding his identity. Now, in terms of hiding his identity, why does he need to hide it? And we said obviously because he needs to keep himself safe first, and also so he can perform his duties. And I mentioned at least 4 points of why the Imam needs to be in a hidden occultation, meaning that his identity is hidden rather than his actual personality, his actual material body. Inshallah, we will dive deep into this. Obviously, I have to give you the ahadith, otherwise this would be just me making nonsense. So I leave it here, and inshallah we'll catch up with you in another video. Until then, keep me in your dua. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.